Azazael and Black Lilith. Reference from historical timeline. Trigger events: 25 years ago, produce anti-hierogamic spawn in Peru. Stargate to destroy genetic equal and twin flame sacred unions during the Ascension, and put AI, reversals and clones in its place. This is known as the alien love bite. Anti-HG targeting. Spiritual couplings and genetic equals that came to the earth to fulfill the Christos mission of sacred marriage or hierogamic union, are known to be directly targeted by the anti-HG technology, in order to manipulate or destroy the relationship and derail the collaborative mission. This can prove to be very confusing and even emotionally devastating for many spiritual couples that are on the ascension path, and are consciously working towards achieving sacred union or hierogamic union between their male and female counterparts. Anti-HG technology directs the archetypal forces of the demon seed of the Antichrist, in the form of Azazael and Black Lilith, which are the Black Dragon's satanic force counterparts. Azazael and Dark Azrael. Azazael was generated from the Azurite DNA genetic mapping in the Wesa matrix, so it is an AI, hybrid shadow entity that has access to Azurite memories on Gaia. This also seems to be the main genetic lineages of the Dark Azrael or Dark Archangelic forces manufactured in Wesa. As the AI, hybrid shadow armies to conquer our universe, that are purely satanic consciousness just-alts that were replicated into fallen seraphim lines. This entity's tri-merge with AI, generated Luciferian and satanic consciousness is the result of consciousness uploading and brain mapping, through which the Pinder Draco alien dragon moth creature takes on a human form to get around on the earth, but clearly is not human. Secret pact of blasphemy and sexual degeneracy. Naturally, over thousands of years the negative alien agenda groups influenced certain ceremonies in their preferred bloodlines involving the complete loss of control of impulses through participating in excessive levels of intoxication, bloodlust, frenzy and sexual degeneracy in order to reverse the direction of the light body's natural sexual energy current. As mentioned, the goal of these degenerate actions during rituals is to ultimately reverse the pain and pleasure centers in the human bioneurology, so that the person experiences pleasure when in pain, or when they are torturing others to feel immense pain. The sexual misery overlay was introduced through the lunar forces, used to conflate and misrepresent the concept of spiritual sacred marriage or hierogamic union with random acts of perverted sexual rites in which the occultists studying distorted Gnostic texts would become increasingly obsessed with the interpretation of its erotic symbolism. Much of the symbolism used during this time of the Luciferian Knights Templar inversion of Gnostic practices was designed to pervert the male-female current into running gender-splitting reversals. This involves snakes and serpents that symbolize the male and female demonic counterparts portrayed in many erotic poses, some supposedly representing the genital wisdom of Gnosis as being achieved through the worshipping of these demonic forces. The ancient belief system in genital wisdom being responsible for achieving Gnosis, helps to educate the public to better comprehend the reasons Satanism and Luciferian cults tend to encourage sexual depravity or condone a range of random sex acts in their rituals, and in some cases include the use of children. Azazael is represented as the goat demon that presides over the entire demonic hierarchy to facilitate sexual intercourse and arrange sexual partners, to intentionally defile the inner sacred marriage of Christos Sophia, via the propagation of attachments of Antichrist entities. Sex magic, orgies, and black magic rituals symbolize hermaphroditic figures with the caduceus. The twin serpent symbolism is representative of the male and female demons, Black Queen Lilith and Samael the Black. These are intended to be the Antichrist versions or anti-hierogamic unions, that propagates its decadence through assorted permutations of sexual misery programming. Black Lilith is equated with a large variety of female demons, succubus entities, and is also the mother of birthing many demons or shadow creatures from lunar forces. Azazael and Samuel are sometimes represented interchangeably, or Azazael is the high priest presiding over Black Lilith's and Samuel's copulation during satanic ritual. These demonic forces are evoked and attached within the ritual participants and through the group's sexual co-creation with these demonic forces, as the satanic consciousness stream forms into the astral energy signature which forms the grotesque structure of the Baphomet streams. During the sexual ritual that unites the Antichrist demon lovers, if this produces a child, the blood sacrifice of the infant is believed to be the harbinger of the apocalypse, bringing catastrophes to the earth that finally end this fallen realm. For in some of the ancient Gnostic texts, it was taught that at the end of the world, everything within it would be completely dissolved and return to God. Thus, over the ages Satanists and Luciferians used distortions of Gnostic rites while cultivating the twisted notion that sexual abuse of children and animals was somehow spiritually enlightening on the path of achieving gnosis and bringing on the apocalypse, choosing to experience what they referred to as genital wisdom, as their secret inner doctrine of desecration. The actual procreation of a child through these sexual rituals was to be recycled in yet another blood ritual for magical purposes, of rituals within rituals which magnify power, which was considered a sacred act to the Antichrist. The point is comprehending that the black magic rituals as promoted by the negative alien agenda groups groomed Luciferian Knights Templar that eventually infiltrated many occult or secret societies, is actually not Gnosticism, but are perverted beliefs and twisted deviations that have saturated these groups with soul sickness. The decline of consciousness during the Dark Ages contributed to the misrepresentation of Gnostic texts by converting them into sexual rituals, which digressed further into satanic black mass and sex magic rituals which ultimately have nothing to do with truest in Christos Templar Gnosticism. Black magicians in the negative alien agenda groups understood how to get human beings to invert their sexual energies so that it ran backwards in the opposite direction, to generate descending serpent fire, an easily parasitized form of louche. Essentially, this is for the purpose of inverting a human being's sexual energy so that it runs out of the perineum channels and into the lower dimensional fields. Thus, it is much easier to siphon by negative spirit attachments or the energetic parasites of the negative alien agenda groups that are manipulating that person to partake in spiritually destructive behaviors. During Ordo Templi Orientis, Gnostic mass ritual, the final ritual act is performed with sex magic, culminating with intercourse between the naked priest and priestess on top of the altar of worship while the congregation is present. The Baphomet forces possess human bodies through the gateway of Azazael, Black Queen Lilith and Antichrist entities, so that an assortment of demonic spirits can have intercourse with each other through the human host bodies.